That's a very interesting question on how often we till our land and how do we till our land. Ideally, we don't want to till our land, right? Permaculture says that you should not till, you should leave your soil the way it is, always covered, never turned around, and that's how you build the whole layer of organic matter and bacteria and fungus. So ideally, we do not want to till our land. However, we are transitioning from being a sort of a tilled agriculture system to a permaculture system, and we've now come to a point where we till very little because I haven't managed to convince my farm help on how to grow things like wheat and millets and some of the other sort of grassy crops without tilling. What we do is we do not use a tractor because we believe that that compresses the soil too much and is way too destructive. We always use a plow, a bullock pulled plow to till our fields, and one of the ways I've managed to ensure that a tractor doesn't come in here is that I've surrounded my plots of land with trees, thereby just cutting off the access of tractors. So tractors cannot enter our plots. So that's what we do, and in terms of frequency, we would probably do it twice a year, once for each crop. So one crop during the winter and one crop in the monsoon, and for these two crops we would till our land. Let me give you a brief overview on the tree plantation at Aanandaa. So when we first started planning out the farm, we were very clear that it would have a few zones. So we would have windbreak trees, which are planted on the periphery. We would have fruit trees, which would be planted in our zone 2. We would have forest trees, which we would plant in our zone 5. And we would also have avenue and flowering trees, which we would scatter around because they look very pretty. So that was really our thinking. And a lot of the books that we read about permaculture were all based out of either Australia or the US. And therefore, we didn't know which trees to plant. And I think that might be a common problem for many of you. The book that we referred to was a book called Trees of Delhi by Pradeep Kishan. And it has a lot of trees that he has documented in the city of Delhi. Chandigarh is about, and our farm is about 250 kilometers from Delhi, and we felt that it was similar in temperature and climate, and therefore the same set of trees would work here as well. So we planted the windbreak trees, which are casuarina and silver oak. We planted at least 50 or 70 other types of trees, which we've just scattered all over the farm. And then we've planted about 20 or 22 different types of fruit trees, which are there in our orchard. And in short, I would say that every tree that grows in this area has been planted at Aanandaa. Now, to your second point about the sequence of planting the trees. So basically, there's no sequence. What we did was we chose the right time, which is just pre-monsoon. We planted the windbreak trees on the periphery, and we planted, like I said, the fruit trees in the orchard and everything else in zone 5. Only now, as the zone 5 area, which was not very fertile in terms of its soil quality, and we did not think that we could really look after fruit trees in that area because they would really struggle. But we believe that now this area is now rich enough for us to start planting fruit trees. So we've now introduced fruit trees into our forest, and in terms of sequencing, that's the only thing that we've done. Plant the native trees first, plant the nitrogen fixing trees first, let them start off as pioneers, restore your land, build an ecosystem, provide some mulch, let their roots go in and fix some nitrogen, penetrate the soil and hold some groundwater, make the soil more porous, and that prepares the soil for the fruit tree plantation. So that would be my experience and advice on planting trees.